Disaster procedures at Divine Providence. Oh, Dorothy gets hit by a window. The Divine wants to go in front of windows in the hallway, safe from being hit by windows and glass. We shut the residence door so no glass would come into the hallway from windows. We're going to talk about tornado and severe thunderstorm watch and warning procedures. We're in Tornado Alley, right at the very edge. Le Sueur is at the very edge. Depending on what map you look at, we're in it. Some maps we're not. We have many weather radios. They're located on the aquarium, in all 4 dirty utility rooms, in laundry, in the kitchen, and in the dining room. Our tornado and severe weather watch procedures. The charge nurse finds out about it. She'll announce on the intercom 87 that we are in a severe weather watch till whatever time it is, and she'll make sure that all the different departments know. The to-do list is on the nurse's desk right here. It says fire tornado, and you open it up, and then there's tornado, and it tells you what to do during a watch and a warning. We defend bed-bound residents in place, and after 9 p.m. all residents are in place. We do move the bed away from the windows during the watch. We give them an extra blanket, or we put on residents' shoes. We close windows and blinds. We give extra blankets down halls for each resident, staff, and visitor. We count residents and personnel. We use the daily log. That's usually the best way to do that. We clear the hallways. Now, if we're in a severe weather warning, all employees, that means nursing, kitchen, office, etc., will help evacuate residents to the following areas. Down the resident hallways, all 4 resident hallways are shelter areas: rose, green, peach, and blue. The service hallway is a shelter area. If the residents are in the dining room, we usually bring them to the resident hallways because there are no bathrooms down here, and sometimes we are in a warning for an hour. The hallway off the chapel. So these are the areas: the 4 resident hallways, the service hallway, and the hallway off the chapel. We close resident doors down the resident hallways. Remember how I said we don't want glass going into the hallway like it happened in The Wizard of Oz? We shut the fire doors at the end of the hallways, especially because we have those skylights up there. We don't want that glass coming down the hallway. So it should look like our fire doors are shut, the resident's door is shut, and the resident is in the hallway. And we do defend bedbound residents in place, and we would give them a blanket and they can pull it over their head. We have walkie-talkies located in the dirty utility rooms. That way we pass the count on in each hall to the charge nurse so she can make sure everybody's accounted for. Sometimes we have to decide whether we're going to feed the resident in the hallway during a watch. We observe the weather outside and decide whether the resident should eat in the hall. Nursing and dietary will discuss that because we may be afraid we're going to go into a warning very suddenly. Residents eat with disposable items in the hall. They'll probably have sandwich and soup. Nursing would move the wood table down one of the shelter areas. We have 22 bedside tables. Most are in residents' rooms. Some are down in the Peach Hall closet. The blue dining room has 2 dining tables, and they sit 4 each, and 5 TV stands, and we would bring those things down the residents' hallways. Activities has 4 TV stands. The snack lounge has 7 TV snack stands, and they also have 2 round tables that roll. And I'm going to have Marilyn show you how to work these tables so you can bring them out of the rooms and into the hallways.
Tilted so much, otherwise it won't release it.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Step that down, holds it up. And if you pull this piece out,
And now we don't fit through the door. Thank you, Marilyn. And all these tables are the same, and they all would act like that. So get as many tables that you need so you can feed everybody in the hallway. I would try to go with the TV stands and the bedside tables. So the main points during a warning, I want you to remember, it has to be announced so everybody in the nursing home knows, and they will know to go to a shelter area. Following these procedures will keep everybody safe. If we have an electrical power failure, we have a generator. It takes about 10 seconds for it to come up to full power, and when the generator comes on, maintenance needs to be called by the charge nurse. Dietary staff will use paper products and have non-perishable food for whatever meal it is that we need to have. When the generator is on, we need to use less power in nursing, no baths, no unnecessary electrical devices. We have emergency power sources. There's one in the nurse's station across from the desk here in the back. There's one under the nurse's desk. There's two in the med room. There's one in the skylight lounge. There's one at the resident kitchen island. And then the outlets near the fire doors of each resident hallway are emergency outlets, and we will plug oxygen concentrators in there if anyone needs them. Electrical power failure flashlight locations. We have a flashlight in the nurse's office, in each dirty utility room. We have two in the office, one on the file cabinet near the window, one in the file cabinet across the room from that, one in the storage room, one at the tray line, one in the women's room outside the Marion's conference room, one in the men's room outside the chapel. They're close together. We'll follow directives from the charge nurse or the DON, and if we can't maintain temperature, we will have to be evacuated. We'll talk about evacuation in a little bit. Emergency lighting. Our upper hall lights will light up to keep the halls lit, every other one in the resident hallways. Our exit signs stay lit. The service hall, every other light stays on. There are some lights on in the mall. There are some lights in Lake Villas, and it acts like the resident hallways, every other one of the upper lights. The Wander Guard system stays on. The fire system stays on. Handicap doors still work. The chapel has some lights, and the kitchen has some lights. If we have some sort of internal disaster, we would rescue whoever is in harm's way, and we'd let everybody know and call whoever we needed, maintenance or some sort of emergency service, and notify the administrator and the DON. If you need to shut off the electrical current, you go into the mechanical room, and to your left is this lever that you would shut off. Or if you needed to shut off the water, you go into the mechanical room, and on your right there's these two cylinders, and around it on the bottom, that's where the water shut off is. And for the gas shut off, the St. Mary's Street exit out of Lake Villa, you go around this big bush, and that's where the lever is to shut the gas off. Our lift alarm. There is a lift alarm in the nurse's office, and if it goes off, you flip the switch. Then you will need to go down to the mechanical room, and you go through the door, and on the left side you'll see this box. This toggle switch here needs to be shut off. That's the alarm. Don't touch these other two switches. And then maintenance needs to be called. Bomb threat.
Good morning. You do not know me, but I know you, and I want you to be aware that I have placed a bomb in your facility.
You planted a bomb here? Where did you put it?
I'm telling you, don't look for it. I know your facility, and you will never find it.
Hi, this is Jana at Divine Providence, and we have a bomb threat. It was just called in. The person is still on the phone, and we're trying to keep them on the phone. But I don't know how much longer she's going to be able to keep them on. She's trying to find out where it is, but she's not having any luck. All right. Is there anything we can do to trace the call? All righty. All right, I'll stay on the line.
Can you just tell me where you put the bomb? Because if it goes off, it's going to hurt a lot of innocent people. Can you just give me your name? Can you just tell me your name? Where did you put it?
You want to know who I am. You'll never find out. You want to know who I am? I'm not telling you. And when the bomb goes off, all these folks will go to the Lord. That's what it's all about. Don't try the 911 thing. I know where all the wires are. And I'll take care of that. I'm 77 years old and I don't have much vision. My sight is I'm losing my sight, but I know where to plant that bomb, and that's where I did, and you will never find it.
Kind of spooky. We've been doing that particular skit since 2004. It is a classic, having a nun calling a bomb threat. Okay, well, they kept the caller on the phone and they asked where the bomb was, and when it would go off, tried to make the caller feel guilty that people would be hurt. She listened for voices and noises in the background. They called the police. The other staff member did that while the other staff member was on the phone with the bomb person. They need to notify the administrator and the person in charge, and the police would be called and they would search the place, and they would have the keys to search with the police. They would give the police a floor plan, which is located under the gray alarm door panel. The police search team will give the all clear, and we keep bomb threats confidential because publicity increases bomb threats. There are no weapons allowed in Devine, such as guns, knives, nunchucks, bows and arrows. Community disaster. Well, we're part of the community, and we will assist in a crisis. We will care for Sleepy Eye hospital residents if they need a refuge, and they would go to our Marion conference room or the activity room. We could also have overflow in the mall or in the chapel. We will always maintain our required staff. Once your shift is over, you can go and help volunteer. We won't let any people with contagious diseases come into the facility, and we will not let the victims go into other parts of our facility, such as the kitchen, maintenance, laundry, etc. Evacuation procedures. We'll give, the administration gives the order to evacuate. We'll do that, or the police, fire, or common sense. If we evacuate during school hours, we'll notify the principal. Off hours, we'll notify St. Mary's Church or the principal because they have schools keys to get into the school. We will put an ID tag on each resident. They're located in the nurse's office above the sink. It has medical information about the resident and their needs. We'll gather in the aviary dining room area. We'll get a census, a head count, assign residents to employees to confirm whether they're evacuated or not, and note where they're taken. We'll evacuate through the south doors at St. Mary's Street there. We'll go up the hill here around the school to the gym. There will be employees at the school, and they will record the arrival of the residents, and then they'll record where the resident goes to the hospital with family, etc. The employees in the business office will have the emergency phone list and arrange transportation and answer phone calls. Social service will contact residents' families and inform them about the disaster and arrange to have them taken home if possible. Nursing will take the med carts, computers, and charts, and they'll also take the emergency bag, which has radio, flashlights, battery, first aid kit, etc. Housekeeping will bring the linen carts, wipes, gloves, briefs, washcloths, and towels. Dietary will bring paper products and non-perishable food and the water. Maintenance will shut off utilities. As I said earlier, the gas is around the big bush here. The electrical is on the left when you come into the mechanical room, and the water's on the right. Lake Villa residents will be encouraged to evacuate. They have a right to refuse. Just let the emergency workers know if they refuse to evacuate. All employees and volunteers will be asked to help with evacuation. If Divine is closed more than one day, the high-level residents will go to Sleepy Eye Hospital. The rest will go to the Orchid Inn, and you will be expected to go to work at the Orchid Inn and report there. We can go back to the facility when they say it's safe to do so. Flood.
Oh no! Flood, 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 flood! Flood, flood, flood! Oh no!
Okay, yes, that was a flood. That was Sleepy Eye Lake flooding. I'll be impressed if people who can tell me which movies I use for clips there. At any rate, you would obviously rescue people in danger, an alarm, you would notify the DON, 911, etc. I'd evacuate the affected part of the building. Maintenance would shut off utilities. If it became severe, we would have to evacuate, as I said earlier. And if it affected our water supply, we would have to get our emergency water supply per our policy. Missing resident. We always find out why a door alarm has gone off. You do not assume anything. You must go out and check why the door went off. This is one of the pads that we have. This is for residents who have a wander guard. Only some residents have a wander guard, and it's a little computer chip, and if they go through certain doors, it will alarm, and that's what this pad is. It has a little light up here, and then it will make a noise. To shut the alarm off, you hit the corner of the number pad, 1379 pound, and it will light green when it shuts off. And then this is the number pad we have for the employee entrance. And to come in without putting off the alarm, you hit 1, 2, 3, 4 star, and make sure the green light lights. If it does not light, you will put off the alarm near the nurse's station. So make sure it lights, and if it does, seconds, and then put the code in again. This is that door alarm, the gray panel that the staff uses. And the wander alarm is for those residents that have that computer chip. This is the DON's window, that's the gray panel, and on the other side is the wander alarm panel. This is a map of the resident area of the nursing home. This is where we come in. On the alarm panel, one is Blue Hall, okay? And then on the resident guard, it says Blue Hall empty entrance, okay? That's this same entrance. So if it's going off, that's what entrance it's talking about, near the time clock. Alarm panel will say 2 Peach Wing exit, and the Peach Wing exit is here. The resident guard alarm will say Peach Hall exit. The alarm panel says 3 Green Wing exit, and the resident guard says Green Wing exit, and that's this one down here. The alarm panel says 4 Courtyard Vestibule, and the resident guard will say Courtyard DR Nurse's Desk, and that's this one right here. Here's our nurse's station, and there's that door. The alarm panel says 5 Night Entry, and the resident guard says NGT, which probably stands for Night Entrance, and then in parentheses SM, meaning probably small dining room. And that's this. This is the blue dining room, and this is the DON's office, that hall here, right here. We'll talk about the mall area here. That's the main hallway. That's the service hall. This is the main entrance to kind of orient you. Birds are over here. 6, the alarm panel is the main entry. And then the resident guard is the front door. Main is what it says, and that's this here. The alarm panel will say 7 Pink Wing exit. The resident guard panel doesn't say anything because there is no alarm for the resident guard panel here. This is my office. The birds are around that door. The alarm panel says 8 mechanical room hallway, which is this hallway here, this door here. The resident guard says beauty shop SHI, again the same door. The alarm panel 9, receiving door east, which is here, and then the resident guard says DBL double door beauty shop. The alarm panel says 10, courtyard dining room, which is here, which is about here. The birds are over here, and the resident guard says courtyard by birds. The alarm panel says 11, exit the chapel, and that is this green dot. And then the resident guard says resident guard north chapel, and that's the same door. The alarm panel says 12 Spar North courtyard, that's here, and the resident guard says living room courtyard. That's this door. Again, our cars are out back there, so you're looking out here. The resident guard is for the rest of it, and then the resident guard will say door to tray line. That is this door here, which is this door here, okay? The resident guard will say by kitchen SHI, which is this. It brings you into the service hallway, then into the kitchen. The Lake Villa area here. The first resident guard will say South Chapel. That's this door here, chapel, and you go here, the South Chapel door near the Marion Conference Room. That's that door there. Then resident guard Lake Villa, Maria exit. And that, when it's talking about in this case, is this exit down here. Then it talks about LVM courtyard. It's talking about this courtyard door here. Then the resident guard, if it lights up Mary Hall exit, that's the St. Mary Street exit down there. Now, if you are missing a resident, you're going to want to check the resident's room and other residents' rooms. You want to check the living room, the chapel, the activity room, the beauty shop, the bird lounge. You want to see if a family signed them out and didn't tell us. You want to look in the gift shop. You want to look at the closet at the end of the green or peach hall, the tub room, the soiled utility rooms, the time clock room or our break room. After checking all these places, tell your charge nurse, who will notify the administrator, who will notify the police. Then we notify the family. And once we find the resident, we'll assess them for any injuries and then update their care plan and let it be known that they wander. Our CPR equipment. It is located across from the nurse's station. We have a backboard and then a breathing mask. We also have breathing masks in the med cart and on the CPR, on the blood pressure cuff cart.